Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Vertek and Chibi, are back from their latest adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, Chibi and Vertek, discuss Ashes of Creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community.
Oh, no.
Every week, we invite you, the viewer, and a special guest to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today being the 18th of August, 2023, and episode 176, Done Hold My Mead, featuring, I guess, the traveling bard, Thoghli. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. And the lovely Chibi there decided to help out Litro by reposting that limit break is charged message because it expired before we actually came fully online. I have to see if we can put those on. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust that so it shows up in the beginning part when we're doing the countdown and all.
I like that idea.
Yeah. But besides correcting our slip-ups and stuff, how are you today there, Chibi?
I am good. Had my day off and was watching you interact with the Wayfinder community today. And seeing who else I knew from the Ashes community who was interested in Wayfinder.
Yeah, I may or may not have been a smart aleck. But you know.
Well, I mean, it's important,
that's
especially
core part of Vertek.
Also, like with the types of games that are coming out, some things that, need to be thought of, like server size and how many people are expected to be trying things out, especially something that I'm sure Intrepid is going to be thinking of and something we'll talk about a little later into the show. But...
Man, yeah. Just saying, folks, creating new games, do a little bit of market research and have a little bit of expectation. And also know that Amazon, if needed, can spin you up a server in like no time. And they'll be happy to work with you about security and networking issues to make sure it functions exactly like a hardware-based server in your closet. And you can always drop those after a couple months when population dies. So in case people didn't know, that's a thing. There are even other services that can do it too. But if you need a big name, Amazon. But
today's token dwarf, bard is Thoghli.
Why do we gotta be the token dwarf? There's other dwarves here.
True, like Wizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had Wizzy on. Yeah, see, we can't accurately call you the token dwarf because I forgot that she was all about that dwarf life too.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
Okay, well, in the best arcades, you don't get just one token, you have many tokens, so you can be
That's true.
one of the token dwarfs. But, for those who may not know everything about you, could you tell them a little bit about you and, say, some organization that you might represent that you might like people to swing by and check out?
Of course. Hi, guys. I'm Thoghli. I am the guild leader for Dunehold, an all Junior Dwarf guild that was made for Ashes of Creation. And, yeah, just here to have a good time.
And Thoghli is the matron of Dunehold.
Yes, I am the matriarch. I'm kind of going for a lore appropriate role, having the matriarch be the head lead of the junior dwarves. So
every time I think of dwarf and matriarch, I just think of the recent Lord of the Rings TV show with the wife. I don't know why, I just do.
I mean, that's fair. I do too sometimes.
Did you notice in that, the only dwarf who had eyes that shine? She was the only one. That was it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's all about. But this isn't a Lord of the Rings podcast.
Unless your eyes glow too, in which case, might be some more stuff to talk about there.
Oh.
It depends on who's looking into them.
Oh,
hey, see, there you go. Look at you having that hint of romance in there. My goodness.
Chicka wow wow.
Right,
But
so-
yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I'll do
you
my
go
recap.
ahead. Oh, you do the recap. I was just going to ask random questions.
Okay. So today, before we get into everything, I just kind of wanted to reiterate the topics for our podcast. And I apologize that they are so very... Oh, look, our other token dwarf. They're so very... so very generic, but the community didn't have too very much to talk about leading up to this Friday. So we're going to talk about some basic in-game topics such as corruption, gifting pre-order mounts to friends, and some theory crafting, as well as some general community topics such as cosmetics, some lore, a little short story somebody wrote, and I know we have some lore and RP lovers, as well as just talking about the potential of having only one character that you play with. And additionally, some expectations that the community has for the upcoming Node Showcase that will be live on the 31st of this month. So Thursday, not next Friday. So
Yeah, speaking of which, I just got to give credit out to, I forget if it was Richie or Vladis. Both of these guys put out a lot of stuff. And so sometimes I
Yes,
forget
they
which
do.
one of them says it. But one of them actually totally called this like at the beginning of this week. They're like, so what's the over-under on the live stream being delayed to the 31st or even the 1st? And that was the post. So totally called it. I think it was Vladis. I'm pretty sure it was Vladis. But I could be wrong. See, now I have to look that up because if I don't, my
And now
brain
you've
is going to
distracted yourself.
explode. Exactly.
It was
It's going to
Vladis, says
implode for the
Wizzy.
rest of the show. Okay.
Wizzy,
Okay.
yeah. We are doing good, Wizzy. How are you? Attention, General Nasty. On deck. To your general. Salute.
I thought Wizzy was going to be a pirate.
Captain?
Captain?
Commandant.
But
Just to get that fancy title in there.
just
Right.
because we have just because we haven't had you on in a little while. Hello, Nemesis. Welcome in. What are your thoughts on the most recent live streams, and or how are you excited? How excited are you feeling? 1 to 5, 1 to 10 ish, if you need, for the upcoming nodes conversation.
I'm going to go, I'm a 20.
You're 20.
On a 1 to 10, I'm a 20.
Give nodes.
Yes,
Send nodes.
nodes. All the nodes. I want to know about the nodes.
I see you're voting twice. You're voting on behalf of
Exactly.
Thoghli, the you on camera, and the Thoghli, the matron of the
Exactly.
guild. I got you.
Yeah. Please send nodes. I'm super excited. I liked the last live stream, but honestly,
It has.
it's like nothing to me is going to compare to how they roll out information about the nodes.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I'm like on the edge of my seat about.
That's fair. How did you find the cleric and the other showcases?
So the cleric, I liked it. I think that it showed a lot more progress as far as the spells and animations and the different kind of nuances of what kind of character you can play as a cleric. But I like the fact that they kind of reiterated that this is only just one version of a cleric, that there's going to be more versions of a cleric. Hopefully that goes deeper into your second choice for your archetype. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with it. I myself have never really played a cleric. I played a disciplined priest in WoW, but healers in general, they're either take it for granted or they're just over healy, just godsend kind of folks. So being that I was more of a single target off tank healer, I learned to appreciate how mass heals or multi target heals kind of affect the raid and or dungeon. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so and honestly, looking at the showcase they did and that statement there, hey there, Magisto, welcome
Hi,
in.
Magisto.
hello.
And looking at the fact that there could be major flavors, like how neat would it be to go like a full tilt, almost damage dealing healer route where you get a big weapon in hand and you're just smashing faces. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Steven said that doing damage or healing would build up your power that can cause spells to become instant.
I think I remember that too.
So if you just do a bunch of damage, you could end up being, a butt kicker in melee and then just dropping a bunch of near instant spells, because you got to start casting it, and then that special power kind of drops it down to being an instant after you start casting. So,
I really
dropping hots out everywhere. Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed the fact that they're kind of doing something a little new where you can have your main like large cast, and you can offer these subtle like cantrips almost in a way, little spells in the middle of it. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, you gotta have the little near free kind of maintenance, just throw out a little bit of a boop here and there type of heal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Very excited. Okay, so how have you, like, on a scale of less than ideal and more ideal, or like right on par, how would you rate the development thus far with how you expected it to go leading up to Alpha 2 from like when we last talked?
I would think it's a little on par. Just because I know that they're also not trying to release too much, so I've always been in the mindset that they're kind of bird feeding us a little bit. They're giving us just a little bit of what's really done, so that way we're not overhyping, because unfortunately Ash's community can overhype some things sometimes. That's,
I don't know what you're talking about. It's never been a thing.
It's not even there.
Not once.
So I think that they're doing it on par. I think that maybe a little more information with the nodes will just put them over the edge, because that's something I think we all have been waiting for, is more information about nodes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Another thing that we're waiting for, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to respond to Wizzy saying, yeah, that's just because you like stabbing people, Wizzy. You scoundrel.
Right.
Another thing that we are waiting for is more information on Summoner. And I have from Hryken, I think is how you say this person's username. I have a little bit of a theory craft on Summoner. And this is in response to a Twitter post from Ashes of Creation, which is actually our Fan Friday that we shared last week, which is from Undead Pally, when Undead Pally made the Nikua Summoner, saying what kind of summons are you hoping to create with the Summoner archetype. So this is their response to that, basically, and saying having an enchanter, like buff bots, pixies, or spirits to be able to kind of put out there the necromancer ability, a wild blade where you have like an offensive weapon summon, a spellmancer being like the colorful elementals, beastmaster obviously spawning animals, brood warden having shield summons, the Shadowmancer being like the dark shadow abilities, no tank in that build. And then the Conjurer being like a mega summoner that brings legendary creatures or entities to life. And there's more there that you guys can look at. But what are your thoughts? Like, are there any of those that are piquing your fancy?
They're all piquing my fancy, because I want to be a summoner in Ashes. That's something I really want. It's something I'm excited for.
Okay.
I really think that just with my character's lore, being kind of like a Ram Rider dwarf, I think I want to do more of the Beastmaster kind of thing, and be able to have multiple beasts near me. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah.
And if they could all be like a chosen animal, that would be even better. Like if I could choose to have all rams next to me, yes, I would definitely do that.
Litro says, "Can I heal the enemy? That would be fun for me, not my party mates." I like that
Oh
one.
goodness.
That would be
Good for the
fun.
troll. I love it.
I suppose that would depend on who you're calling the enemy, because we have no factions in this game.
That's
I
true.
mean, if you're in a party healing people fighting them, obviously your party is your enemy.
Perception.
So then you'd start healing the party. That would be a constant case of switch back and forth, wouldn't it? And heal these, heal them, heal these, heal them.
I heal everybody. I'm neutral.
True neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Right.
That means you can't select who you heal. You just kind of like put your mouse out there and start clicking people.
Yeah.
You just have it on a hot. You just like
Yeah.
run your mouse back and forth really quickly, and then you hit like the one key, and whoever it landed on, when you hit the one key, that's who gets the heal.
Just click heal, click heal, click heal, click heal. Who's getting it next? I don't know. Why'd I heal a bear? They're not even fighting. Who cares?
Tried to heal a tree. I don't know what happened. It just didn't work.
The origin of the 100-hour war.
Oh, jeez. That would be fun to like be a part of. Like, if there was really a 100-hour war going on constantly with like 2 large guilds, like
Yeah.
in open field, I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, actually, have to approach the battle in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I
Actually-
called out sick today because we needed reinforcements last night and we didn't get them, so I had to make sure that somebody was here for today at least.
I actually just realized that one of these could be better off in the other, and vice versa. So I'm just gonna swap them.
So I saw the Wild Blade in that list.
Yes.
Offensive weapon summons. I thought that would be pretty cool, although once I started imagining abilities for it, I started to definitely get a very like Final Fantasy 14 kind of feel. Like dropping out a bunch of like spinning blades,
Yeah.
like you see in some games and such, where you have just a circle of blades that just spin and things that walk through them get damaged, and like
Dancing
conjuring up a giant
swords.
sword that just swings down at somebody and does like super hard chops, and almost like that axe that they showed in the very first combat reveal, like the combat redo reveal with the fighter, where people were complaining it was like a battle master and he dropped a big axe, but he was actually carrying a sword in his hand. But yeah, getting something like big spectral axe to drop down. Also thought the Shadowmancer would be pretty cool. And I just imagined with that, like literally making shadows animate to like attack at people, almost necromantic in style, but more like stealing energy and speed and like recovery speed and stuff like that. Attack speed, movement speed.
Some very
Interesting.
big Peter Pan systems you got going. Your shadows
Like some
attacking
CC.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Pulling you
little
back.
shadows creeping up and like pulling energy from you, and you have to
Yeah.
stomp them out, or like get some kind of a beacon
Get a
light
light
that you could
thrown
maybe
at
put
it.
up and will damage them, make them weaker.
Yeah. Butchie says, did someone say Thunder Fury blessed blade of the Windseeker?
Oh, jeez.
I think it would be kind of cool, because I'm imagining either like daggers with like wispy shadowy things around them with the shadow blade, or like blades literally made out of like shadow, where you see like the outline of the blade, but then the inner part is just shadowy, kind of like Shadow Priest, when the Shadow Priest would enable that one overlay and everything was shadowy, something like that, but with the weapons. I think that'd be really neat.
You need to have like a shadow based cloak that would act as almost like a defensive field for you. It would just kind of
Yeah.
hang at your back and look all shadowy and floofy.
Yeah.
But then when somebody comes in for an attack and they like strike you, almost like a thorn armor type of effect. Like they take damage when they attack, but the cloak just whips out and smacks them in the face real quick with the tip of it.
Yeah.
Every time they attack you, it just reaches out and smacks them once. Yeah.
Why am I getting Doctor Strange?
Right?
Exactly. Just like that. I love it.
Okay, so the next one is talking about corruption. Since we're talking about Shadow, I might as well just tie straight into this one. This is also from Chicago, who we talked about a little bit last week, saying, I'm all for corruption adding death penalties or dropping more on death, but reducing the combat abilities of the corrupted player seems a bit boring. Like, I like the idea of a powerful enemy needing a group to take down, or at least give them a fighting chance, but a corrupted player just being an easy kill, essentially bottlenecking them into going into hiding till they work off the corruption, sounds a bit lame. And for me, I would say absolutely I would agree with this if it were the case where after one kill you were that weak, but this is over time you needed to have killed at least 5 or 10 people to get to that easily of a gankable state. So in that case, I disagree. But what are your thoughts?
I think that it makes sense. Like, if you're gonna be evil, you're gonna accrue corruption over time. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna keep killing people and over again, I agree with you. Like, it just makes sense to me that you have that penalty. I think that they're not looking at the reason for the corruption system is to help prevent griefing to the extreme where people just want to kill other people. Mm-hmm. It's a hard, I guess, rebuttal to you just wanting to sit and murk people all day, you know?
Yeah.
Which
is not fun for anybody.
No, it's not fun. It may be fun for the person that's, ganking everyone, but it's only fun for a little bit. And, after a while, if you get that corruption, I like the fact that they have the bounty hunter system. They have all these other systems where you get corrupted. It's not supposed to be a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the corruption system, I think, is a good thing. I don't think that corruption is a bad way. The way it's currently expressed to function anyway. It's obviously going to need some tweaks and adjustments to make sure it gets fine-tuned correctly, but the base idea of it, I think, is just fine. I mean, even the second response to it from Crow 3, Merriam-Webster wrote, punishment, noun, the act of punishing, suffering pain or loss that serves as retribution. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's supposed to be there for, is, when you get in other games that we will leave unnamed, but the initials are World of Warcraft. They don't punish at all whatsoever for just swooping through and decimating an entire level 10 area for questing. And hello, Nice Gaming, welcome in. But yeah, there's zero punishment for it, zero reason to not do it. There needs to be some kind of dissuasion from just being an absolute jerk while leaving the door open to do some open world PvP, because you might have a valid reason for taking someone down. You might. Who knows? Yeah. There's plenty of things that people can do that'll, the only answer is to just wipe them out and hope they move on.
True.
They stole your loot.
Yeah, like any random reason. Like they're following around behind you, and you're both trying to farm the same stuff, and they just keep dragging enemies into you so that they can farm the stuff or something. Like, just get out of here, man. Leave me alone. Stop trying to troll me.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, almost.
Okay.
But yeah, the other games like that, though, people will sit there and stay there forever, even after it's not fun anymore, just because they have nothing better to do. But a system like corruption will basically say, if you're not there for a purpose doing that, you should probably move on and start doing something else constructive, because if not, someone's going to come for you and you're going to fall.
Yeah,
I can see that. I was going to say, Bochi had mentioned that, for example, you get a quest that asks you to do something evil or bad, but you can only do it once without getting corruption. It's kind of like, I guess, the Jedi versus Sith kind of idea.
Ooh.
I could see something like that. Litro says, in Fallout 76, the bounty system is so broken that it turned everyone off of PvP. Ironically, it made a very helpful community. Which is fair. Everybody came together under one united cause.
Yeah,
this is the way.
I'm somewhat heartbroken by Fallout 76. I wanted that game to be good. And when it came out, I just, with every report and everything I read about it, over and over and over, I just started to say, yeah, I'm not going to bother even picking it up. I'm just not.
Yeah,
I'll wait till it gets good.
I think I bought it and I played it for 2 weeks and then just never played it again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. Welcome in there, Dead Jester. And
Hello,
yeah, nice. I'm
hello.
gonna see if I can do the bounty hunting thing too. I might have to hit you up if we're on the same server. Just gather a big bounty hunter network.
This is the way.
This is the way.
You pre-ordered it. Oh no, well plumps. You're
No.
welcome. So another question from the community by XMix is could it be positive if someone only has one character? And this is kind of a callback to an old conversation that we've had previously with another guest about leveling up alts versus just one PC. The question would be, how could I add something like this so that if I have one character, he would get 40 to 100% XP to collect for development in his profession for other things. If you make a second or third character, you lose these buffs. So maybe it wouldn't be necessary to make second characters, even if someone doesn't want to, just to keep up with the others. In short, if you have one character, you get bonuses. If you have more characters, you lose these bonuses. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I am a kind of one-player kind of gamer, especially because we role play and we do a lot of themes just with our one character. You know, I myself am going to be just on Thoghli like most of the time. I don't ever really think about having alts, and I think that relying on just your one character and seeking community to help get things done, it would promote the vision that Steven and Intrepid are trying to make for the game. Because unfortunately, other games in the past really promoted the alt experience. And I feel like Ashes of Creation isn't necessarily going to halt don't make an alt, but I don't think it's going to be super friendly for those who do want to make alts for everything.
Okay. Vertec?
Yeah, I don't think there is any weird balance, because if looking down through some of the posts here, XMix also responded back because Niker said if that happened, it would lead to people feeling bad and complaining that they need to buy more accounts if they want to participate in artisan professions. In other words, it'd be pay to win. But XMix said it'd be balance, because 2 to 3 characters, you can get a much bigger advantage on one server than if you had only one. And I think it's really a decision point on if you want to focus on being that one class, be that one, profession or whatnot. You focus on it, you make that your everything, and you're going to know the ins and outs of that a lot more. You're going to be a lot more specialized. You're going to be a lot more likely to have all the recipes. And you know what? If you or somebody has a freehold, you're probably a lot more likely to have exactly what you need to do everything that you can do. Whereas if you have multiple characters, you're going to be able to do a lot more of the workflow from beginning to end and multiple parts of it. But you're also dedicating a lot more time to getting that character built up. If it takes, let's say, what was it, a month or two that Steven was hoping to aim for hitting max level, and you're not really going to be able to do any meaningful crafting in most games. Ashes may be different, who knows, but meaningful crafting that's going to make you money and make you famous and, really make a living out of it in game until you hit max level. So you're going to be out of commission for a month's worth of game time, not doing anything productive on the other character while you build up the second one. And now you're also diluting your finances. Because no matter how many professions you have, you're starting with a certain amount of money. And you need to spread that money out and do something with it. And it's going to grow either with one character and one profession, or it's going to grow with multiple characters with multiple professions that you need to feed money into to make it as successful as it could be if you just dumped all your money into one profession. You do have all those recipes you either need to buy or you need to dedicate time to going and finding all the materials, etc. So I don't think there's really a balance issue. I think that kind of balances itself.
And I was going to say something similar because I don't think you need to have a negative impact for having multiple characters, because the negative impact will be the loss of time on your primary character. I think it will just naturally happen that way. So I think to further add insult to injury in a manner of speaking, where you're outwardly or on purposefully, that's the word I was looking for, purposefully going to add a negative effect for people that are making multiple ults, I think the negative effect is already in place, which is, losing time on progression and rating and etc. on the primary character. So I think it solves itself.
I think I've always had kind of this mindset of whenever it comes to multiple characters, I look at it as, do you want to be a jack of all trades or a master of one whenever you really get into the one character you're having? People have their preferences. Some people want to do it all. And I adore people like that because they have inner knowledge of things that I probably wouldn't have. But also I like to stay real focused on one thing. And if you're going to lose that, like is losing that time off of your primary character, is that really worth it at the end?
Right.
Plus, it also depends on what your value is in the game and the experience, right? So if you're all about that crafting and that, as somebody else stated before, econ PvP, if economy PvP is your thing, then being able to focus on it full time by having, a couple of, say, 3 characters that all have everything crafting like maxed out full tilt, but they have just enough actual like gear gained out in the wild to be able to follow their group through, like their guild through a dungeon and kind of help a little bit. But they're definitely being carried specifically for being the guild crafter. But that's their experience. They don't really have as much time to go out and explore the world and do the PvP events and do the PvE raids and all this and that, because they're focusing all their time on the economy stuff. Whereas somebody who has like the one character, you could, I suppose, focus all your time on the economy stuff, but you're gonna have a lot more dead time to do other things. A lot more time available that you could do other things, I should say.
Yeah.
In my view, because you're not taking care of all 3 portions of the process: the gathering, the processing, and the crafting.
Right. You're kind of relying on other people within the community to help you with that.
So it's definitely it's a different focus, different experience altogether.
Great question from Dead Jester, saying, I have a question though. Is crafting important in the game? It is absolutely important in the game. They are making it one of the core pillars of the game, where some of the best in-game items that you can achieve will be crafted items. And crafting will be just so that you will be reliant on other people within the community to kind of assist, because you can either be general or you can be super focused and masterful. So a good example would be being able to generally make armor, or you can focus on a particular type of armor and be very good at like the full focus on that type of armor, for example. Long answer, yes.
Long answer, yes. I was going to say, no, give me the short answer.
No, give me the short answer. But no, I am very excited to see how everything works together. This is one of the things that they're still like fitting together in terms of pre-alpha 2, and I'm assuming we're gonna get a nice little look at it during the alpha 2. Faye says, not just some of the best, there will be items where nothing is better than for your character than the crafted piece. Yes.
Yep.
I love the way
Phelan's
Steven
got it there
put it.
as well as like Wizzy was saying, so crafting will be bis. Sorry, there, Thoghli, go ahead.
I love the way Steven said it. Crafters will make the best shit.
It
is 100%. We'll right on.
There are going to be
there.
exceptions to that, but the legendary items that are literally limited to a specific number of them available on the server until they die, get broken, disintegrated, or whatever, and then maybe another one will spawn somewhere. But those truly legendary items are going to be the only things that are going to be better than crafted stuff in most cases, from how it's been described.
Yeah, I could see that. Because I would like to craft a weapon and maybe healing potions for the parties and whatnot. I think you have to choose one of them. So like I'm focusing on alchemy, but there's gathering, there's processing. So like Are you going to be a gathering profession, or are you going to be a processing profession? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I think how's it go? Something like you can choose to be a grandmaster in either gathering or processing or crafting.
Yep.
And you can master, what is it, 3 of the things underneath them or something like that, or up to a couple of them underneath. Like multiple subcategories. Like crafting, you could totally be a master blacksmith or grandmaster blacksmith, but then you couldn't also end up being carpenter and leather worker and tailor and all the other crafting stuff. You'd have to choose which thing's in there. Yeah. But you can only focus on one category flat out.
But that's to help with the in-game economy to flourish, essentially, and to I guess promote the usage of the in-game marketplace and coming together and making either personal trades or buying off of your localized auction house, etc. And this also adds to perhaps your area of the map for whatever server you're on, because I don't know how much you know about the game, but every server is going to be unique from each other, as it is player driven, not story driven. It does have story, but the players and their interactions with the world drive the world to build in certain areas. So we may build one part of a server that another server didn't even touch yet, for example. And so maybe on your server in your part of the world, you've built it up enough that you have a specific type of plant that will be worth a lot in other regions because they don't have access to said plant, but they might have need of said plant. So a lot of in-game politics and economy gets brought up into all of this. And it's kind of exciting, but I'm also wanting to sit here and just be like, ooh, I wonder how it's all going to unfold. But yeah, that was kind of it on the in-game topic specifically. The next one are the general community topics. One of them being that something we've talked about a few times, but I think it would actually be useful because, especially as a podcast, I would like to be able to give away amount. And this is gifting pre-order amounts to friends or family, which they don't really allow. But I think they should. I think there should be, if they could find a way, I think there should be a way to be able to gift things out to people. Because, I mean, even as a guild leader, perhaps your way of encouraging people is saying, hey, whoever is the top rater, oh, thank you for the hydrate. Whoever is the top rater, this next month, I will give you a cosmetic of your choice from the cosmetic store, or if you really do well in X, Y, or Z, I'll give you a mount skin of tier 1 quality, etc. Yeah, I think it's a cool system to be able to implement, and I think streamers and guild leaders alike would find use for something like that.
Most definitely. I would love to have a way that I could just give my members cosmetics or whatever have you. I mean, we did have rewards. You know, we have rewards every year.
Aww,
and this last year, I did buy Alpha 2 pack for someone. Yeah. But that's a little different than giving a cosmetic. You know, being able to gift a cosmetic is something I would like to do at some point.
Yeah. Also, cosmetics don't have any pay to win aspects, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vertek, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think Steven had mentioned, or somebody had mentioned in an interview at one point anyway, that was one of the reasons that they were kind of leaning towards no. If I recall correctly, it was because of potential pay to win, because, for instance, you could pay cash for in-game cosmetics that somebody wants to get, but they don't have the cash for, so then they give you in-game gold, so you basically just bought gold through that transaction.
And I do understand that perspective, but Bochi even said, I did ask Intrepid if we could get a system like in League of Legends, which if you aren't familiar, you can gift a skin in-game to them, just directly, but they still said no.
Flashiest character wins the game. It's true. Cosmetics are the end game.
Pardon me, sorry. This, and it will be dwarves. But I'll just verbally respond to you, Dead Justice, because I keep trying to type this out, but then I keep getting distracted. Dead Justice says, I don't know much about the game, but it sounds good to buy and experience with. And honestly, for Vertec and I, we really enjoyed the previous, like, you have to be like expecting to actually test things. It's going to be broken. It's not just, and I mean, people with Wayfinder being early access, they're having issues with things being broken, but like it's not like a BDO port where everything's finished, it's just ported over and labeled as something. This is actually like development. This is the core systems being worked on and integrated in, and your feedback really helping. And I mean, I'm just gonna put this out there. As of right now, sometime in September, maybe as late as October, are the last chances of getting the alpha keys at the moment. Whether or not they bring that back will remain to be seen. But for those that can't, I've always said, hey, watch the live streams of the people that are live streaming Alpha 1, watch the live streams of live people for Alpha 2, see what you're seeing on screen and kind of get a feel for it, and go to the forums, go to Reddit, give your feedback, make sure it's constructive, because it's more helpful. But, you know, yeah, no, it's not free to test.
Yeah, right now it's in a between alpha phase right now where they're building up more stuff and adding more stuff to the game. We're gonna have another alpha phase coming up, I think next year-ish. They haven't really set a date for it specifically, but that's kind of what it's feeling like. And currently they're only really bringing people into those for the most part that have bought into those packs. So I would highly suggest that you definitely get a good feel for what's going on with it and 100% understand that it's definitely an in development process, as Chibi was saying. It's not a fully polished game. It's not available for play even right now. They're gonna open it up for alpha testing shortly-ish, because compared to the number of years that we've been waiting for it to come out. But I will at least say that I don't regret my purchase, and I know Chibi and I bought some of the larger packs, not the biggest ones, because it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of money to just dump out, but we bought one of the bigger packs, and I don't personally regret the purchase of it at all. No matter what gripes I may have had with it in the past, I don't regret it. Do I have some complaints? Yeah, I've had some complaints, and I've gotten in my feels about some things, but
I think that should
that's
be
for everyone else
though.
to decide for yourself. Yeah.
Thoghli, do you have access to any of the alphas or?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was an Alpha 1.
I couldn't remember. I thought so, but I just wanted to be sure before I just said that.
Yeah, I do not regret it at all.
Who the F is Thoghli?
Thank you for the resub there, Sneckers. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Gotten my money's worth, but that it's fully due to the community itself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a community that really I enjoy what I bought into. I liked the testing phase that we were in, but I knew that there was going to be more at a later date. So just patiently waiting. Yep.
Dead Jester says, so I decided I would love to be a blacksmith. And you know what? If you end up in the alphas or the betas, I'd love to trade with you. I'll give you some of my potions for some blacksmithing stuff if I need it.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy more in 2 weeks, hopefully. Oh yeah, the live stream. Very excited for that. Very, very excited for that.
And we mention it a lot, by the way, there, the Jester, but this site right here is going to have a lot of solid info for you.
Yes.
AccessOfCreation.wiki.
We highly promote that. It's community run for the most part. It's Lux, and then a lot of people that help Lux. Lux, sorry, why did I say Lux? I'm thinking of League now.
Yeah, it's kept pretty up to date. Whenever there's a big release of info, you can hear them swearing over the internet because they need to take the entire interview and redo everything on the site about all the info they just got released.
Yeah.
And they usually have it all wrapped up by the time like a day has passed. Everything's been updated with
Also,
the links directly to specific parts in the video that mention that info.
I was about to say they sort their sites. They cite their sources. They source their sites.
They sort their sites.
But they cite their sources. I am also tongue twisted today, apparently. But yes, no, we highly recommend them. We like going there. I am only drinking coffee. I'm not drinking mead against what my character looks like. Actually, I'm waiting on Vertec to make some more mead so I can have some more, but that's to be a later conversation.
Yeah.
But,
the next one I want to do is a strawberry basil.
Ooh, that one sounds so good. I wanted to share this over. This is a long thing. You don't have to read it, but I know that having a RP Dunehold DM with us, I wanted to share the short story somebody wrote about their character Tiberius Rain. If you are into roleplay and lore and just all of that goodness, feel free to give that a check. They even did this really cool little like written paper parchment thing, and I thought that was really, really cool. And I would totally try to voice that, but I don't think I have a deep enough voice for that character.
It would be entertaining to hear you try, though.
Oh,
Very
no.
entertaining.
Oh, no. And then the other thing I wanted to share, which might be coincidence, might not be coincidence, is somebody a year ago on Reddit, this would be you/Mr. Hey, go away. Mr. Michibio, had requested something to do with a boar mount, and here, 1 year later, we have a boar mount. And they are just celebrating that little win kind of excitedly, so I wanted to share that. I'm sure we will never know until we can get one of the people from the Ashes team on again, on like whether or not that actually influenced anything. And then this is actually perfect that we have somebody new within the random topics. Somebody was asking about the Alpha 2. Hello, Lore. Alpha 2 being persistent. So just for those that are new and looking into this, who recently heard, this is a little bit more information. They, I believe, also direct you over to the wiki eventually, too, in this conversation. But I'm excited because Alpha 2 will be persistent until launch, and there will be separate servers for Beta 1 and 2. So, yeah. That was a...
Snickers.
That was a firing of new information. Nice! You're making a D&D character of your own? Yeah, we have a huge RP community within the Ashes of Creation community, and there's even like a whole roleplay tavern area. So actually our characters that you see on screen, we made our future Ashes of Creation characters into VTubers. And my VTuber / Ashes of Creation character, as much as I am sad that Bochi keeps bringing this up, is a druid from my D&D campaigns, because there's no druid in Ashes yet.
Womp womp.
So,
yeah. All right. Now, back to the conversation topics instead of rapid firing. Nice, actually. Yeah, I'm hopeful. Nice actually wrote a post on the forums talking about expectations for the Node showcase.
Ooh.
Nice says the Node system and Node showcase are perhaps the most important of Ashes to Ashes of Creation. It has to be just right as far as marketing being that it is perhaps the most unique thing in this MMO, already full of innovation. This is actually why I was actually happy and even more excited when the Nodes showcase wasn't last month as originally thought or planned. That being said, what are you looking forward to the most? Sorry, I'm butchering your words with Nodes. What node type are you wanting the most in-depth look at. What are your expectations? For me, I'm expecting something great and I'm excited. I'm mostly excited to see military nodes and exact details on how they will function. Would be nice to see or hear an update on them. I think small bonus, not necessary, would be in-node apartment housing, instanced housing. This will calm casuals who aren't aware that freeholds aren't the only form of available housing, which we did talk about before, if that was their main concern, as I've received and seen comments under that impression. And yeah, we were mainly worried on our part about the limited in-node instanced housing because of the casuals that like it. But anyway.
Yeah, like everyone should have some chance to get a home.
Yeah. I will send that over to Snickers. So what nodes are you looking forward to? What node type?
I have two.
Okay.
I have two I'm looking forward to. One of them is scientific, only because it's something that we in Dunehold voted on as trying to test out in A2. We just want to find out more, like what kind of crafting things are going to be there. The ins and outs of, the voting structure, whenever you vote for your mayor. I know we kind of experienced that in A1, but I want to see kind of how far they go with scientific. And then the other one, believe it or not, is the divine nodes. I want to know more about the religious aspect, and what benefit does a divine node give you? Because it's loosely touched on, but I think there's a lot more that could be included on it. So,
okay. What about you, Vertex?
The divine nodes, I'm super curious about, because we've only gotten the most basic of information about those, really, and the fact that what was it? The faith is the currency that they were talking about having on those nodes, and being able to bid on freeholds with it. I'd be really curious to see how that's made. Like, do you just gotta campaign around the world and spread the word, or do you gotta do local quest only? Is it a combination of both? Like, what do you have to do? What do you do?
Yeah,
and what bonus would that give to an entire node ZOI is a really good question. Yeah.
Also, I guess for mine, I'm kind of curious about the economy node a little bit more. I want to know, honestly, my general interest lies in how much has everything changed since the nodes videos that were released way back when. How much of that is similar? How much of that has changed? And will you guys go back to doing the nodes videos where each video they were covering a different node and more in depth? Because I honestly missed those, and those were a fun topic to cover, in my opinion. It was really cool to have one individual node that we could look deeper into and talk about and get excited about. And I know a lot of the community has missed those, hence the joke of where's the nodes 3? We're moving on to nodes 4. So if you're wondering where that came from, that's because they had a nodes 1 and a nodes 2 video, essentially. Oh, sure. I think there's plenty of people in the community that could help you. I don't think we could help you right here on the spot, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people within our Discord that are into roleplay. So like, if you want to pop in there, we can also show you over to Thoghli's Discord, where they have a lot more of the roleplay stuff, and they welcome friends there as well, be knife ears or not.
They are. They are. It's just we make fun.
Yes. But I will say that there is an ad starting in about 2 minutes. So the next topic will be from somebody who's actually called The Node, who's from apparently the Kickstarter, was one of the Kickstarter members. And they were talking about the content that they have never seen in an MMO. So I will paste that here for your perusal. And just as a reminder, we do have a 3-minute ad. The 3-minute ad is to keep the pre-roll away for about an hour, provided that we don't have issues starting the live stream. And It helps so that people can join right into the conversation instead of we've had people before where they needed to refresh for whatever technical issues and kept getting ads every single time. And we don't like the ad system, and I know you guys don't either, but this is honestly the only way that we can get around it outside of not streaming on Twitch. But for those watching on YouTube later this week, or next week rather, there will not be an ad, I think. So, what kind of things in the MMO have you seen or would you like to see that you haven't seen recently? Just in general. Or like what other games have stuff that you would like to see happen in an MMO if it could in the ideal world?
You know what I really want to see? I want to see the orcs be the good guys.
Ooh. That's fair. They are usually the bad guys. Like, oh, this orc raided your band camp. Your little...
Honestly, I want to see dwarves be the bad guys for once.
Ooh.
It's one time in band camp, an orc raided
it's bard camp, okay?
Everybody.
It's where the bards live. They're usually defenseless. This is why they're support. I mean, what?
I mean, depending on which side of the story you live on, that WoWcraft had orcs as the good guys.
Then who will be the bad guys? You and I. Bad boys for life. Snackers.
Interesting. He wants dwarves to be the villains here.
Just saying.
I think he just wants to live out his dark dwarven fantasies.
How would you feel about that if a game did come out and orcs were the good guys and dwarves just with like demonic eyes and hammers full of spikes and rage came out of the mountains just to demolish entire populations?
You know, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. It's something that's new. You know, traditionally, a lot of times, dwarves are always trying to seek their home or trying to reclaim something. And that's hilarious. The Zerga Bards band camp. I love that.
We like to call it a cacophony of bards. Okay?
It's the battle of the bards, if you will.
But I definitely would like to. It'd be fun to experience. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, Dunehold in general, our stance I think is chaotic neutral. As a guild, so it would make sense a little bit.
Yeah. Dead Jester says, I would like to see high elves have better range stats with long-ranged weapons. Snecker says, well, I'm going to play Pyre. They appear to be aggressive neutral or something like that. Nemesis says, well, the only race I'll be is human, so human master race. And then Snecker says, similar to Dryads from The Witcher, we don't kill you unless you step into our force. Then you did.
Then you did.
Fair. You know, I gotta say something though, a little bit. I thought the humans went to the elves for help.
Oh. You know. Yeah.
I thought that was something I remember. I don't know if I was reading it or I heard about that.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Dead Justice says, I mean, high elves has great stats, but it can be better. Fair. Why only high elves? High elves sus. Yes, that's just elven propaganda. Do not believe the lies.
That's fair.
I cannot speak. I'm simply a woodland elf. I'm merely in tune with nature. I have nothing to do with the humans. I simply stare at them from afar and wonder how they age so quickly.
Right.
Rough living right there.
As one who ages very slowly, how do I know how old you are? You age so quickly. Are you 1,000 years old? No? Oh, okay. But no, I'm actually very excited to see how the racial I guess emphasis happens within Ashes of Creation, and see how like the different primary races of each node, because I believe that's also the other factor if they're keeping that, where like one server might have, let's say, Winchester up, and that's an elvish node, and another could have Winchester up and it's a dwarven node of some sort.
Now you're talking. That's what I like to hear. Dwarven nodes.
Ears perk up.
Yes.
Right.
Tell me more.
Yes.
Male elves are ugly and egotistical. That's why I play only female elves. They're just ego. Elven supremacy. Nice. Elves are great protectors, though, and great wonders for life and creation. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Actually, my first ever MMO character was an elven ranger. Yeah. I don't know. I've always liked elves. I've always been partial towards them.
I think the first time I made an elf in anything besides World of Warcraft was Baldur's Gate 3. That's the first time I've really made an elf
Really?
in anything outside of World of Warcraft.
Just now.
Yeah. Like
It's
I
taking
don't
you
think
this
I ever
long.
made one in D&D or any other game prior.
It's taking
I'm
you
shocked.
this long.
I'm shocked. I'm legit shocked.
That's wonderful.
Well, I know in D&D I've always had, if there's any kind of pointy ear or anything, it's always been tieflings.
Yeah.
Tiefling has almost become my default. If I
Fair.
can't think of a specific reason to make like a human or any of the other hundreds of races out there, I just default to tiefling.
That's fair. I did play World of Warcraft for a while though too. By the way, I think high elves feel better with magic, and I would leave high dex for Pyre. The race description is that they like to use spears and bows. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Also, welcome back, everybody. So the node. TLDR, make unique monsters drop unique items and make the items limited but high power and world level. I wonder if there would be world levels in Ashes. I think there's mainly like zone levels. Like as you level the zone, it levels
the node, right?
Yeah, if you level the nodes, it levels the zone with it.
Yeah, I think that identify its item class as world level. I think that might be from a specific game.
I mean, I
And
know
that's
that
just like a
there's
term.
Genshin that has world level, right? But I don't
Yeah, the
know.
only thing I can think is maybe there's like world level would almost be like legendary or something like that.
Yeah. Elven Mage or something. Yeah, there's a lot of like really interesting stuff. I imagine Bard with like Rogue would be kind of Trickster-esque, possibly. Either Rogue primary or Rogue secondary with Bard. Big meter to showing the node is for sure an inferior thing. Oh, great, thanks.
Yeah, see, along those lines, Sneckers, I was thinking it could almost be interesting if they did put limits on races and whatnot. If the Empyreans were more like sword and armor and arcane based stuff, and Pyre were a lot more like spear and bow and nature / elemental.
You mean like having natural proficiencies in them, or?
Yeah, or just had most of their skills based around those.
Gotcha.
Even if the effect was similar in the end, just the themes around the skills.
Yeah. So moving on to general updates. Ashes of Creation will be live on the 31st, but they have their Q&A open until the 28th. So you have about 10 more days to head on over and ask your question. And I do suggest reading through the wiki to see if your question has been answered, or I guess looking through the FAQ on their official Discord. Because they do tend to pick questions that have not been asked before as best as they can. I will put that extra piece in there as best as they can. But their live stream will be 11 a.m. Pacific, which is usually close to 2 p.m. our time, as long as they don't get pushed back, which they sometimes do. But, you know, things happen. But yeah, that's kind of the main things. Aside from that, we found somebody who is, I think, making a new website within the community, and they are called Loreforged. And their website is loreforged.com, which I'm waiting to load up so I can share out to you guys. So if you are interested in lore, go check them out. It seems like they have a podcast as well that they did today or are doing today. Hold up, let me check. Because if they're after us, oh nope, they did it today. You can hear it. It's live. It's about an hour, and they have a little breakdown of what they talk about, which is more about who they are and their Ashes of Creation overview. So, yeah. Oh, Jibs. Jibs is a part of Loreforged. So we have Jibs. You have Coruscant. I'm not sure how to say that name. Sorry. Kosh Quest and Loreforge HQ. And they are Loreforge HQ over here on Twitch. So yeah, check them out. Welcome them into the community.
That's who it was. That was the guy's name I was trying to remember.
Cash.
Yes. Remember I was saying, like, I feel really bad I can't remember his name right now. I could describe everything about him and everything, but it just, the name was escaping me. Yeah, it was Cash.
Totally looks like Jibs, yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I'm missing some of the conversation that's happening in the chat. We're talking about magic skills, being intelligent, not dex. Yeah, I think maybe the Empyrean elves are more intelligence. Pyre are more dex. Okay, which is exactly what Snucker said. But prop dex and wisdom to be exact. Valoon dex and strength. Because they use swords and spears. People of the desert. Yeah. The higher the int, the more spells do more damage. Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know how that's gonna affect in Ashes of Creation. I don't know how that's gonna be different. Yeah, but as Vertec put, they're not gender or class locked, so you can play anything. And I believe, are they doing the racial bonuses to the classes or no?
No, it was originally stated that there was going to be a seed to the players, the characters' base stats based on race, but they've done away with that. They've also said it's likely to not impact the artisan system. Some classes may work better with certain races, but nothing is enforced. And players' choice of race will influence the racial augments, but that's about it.
It kind of feels like Tasha's Cauldron, then, in a manner of speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where they removed a lot of that stuff, changed it around a bit. But, yeah.
Oh, they were lore seekers, but they changed to Loreforge. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know they were starting to dip their toes in the Ashes stuff, and then they dipped out because we had them on the show for a minute, or like one time, and then they ducked out for a minute, and then they came back, and they've switched it up and created a whole separate website for it now and everything. So I'm excited to see how it goes. Maybe we should have them back on again.
Maybe re-welcome them is the better term.
Yeah, re-welcome them. Yeah.
But yeah. Finally, the other thing for fan focus is this wonderful chibi art piece of I forgot what I called it earlier. I know what it's called, but my brain is just being silly. Oh my gosh. They didn't even say it. It's not helping me.
The Renkai?
It's not Tolnar. Yeah, it's Renkai. Thank you. They're like one of our races. They didn't even say which race themselves. So I was like, stop it. Yes, Renkai. Thank you. Named Annalise. And I thought that was really cute. From Annalise, I mean. Yeah. So yeah. I thought I would share that.
Oop, right there.
Tolnar are evil. Everyone agree to purge them? Hey. I go on a Tolnar bar Tolnar basis, okay? If you are mean, I will treat you as a mean Tolnar, but the next Tolnar might be nice, so I have to treat them neutrally at first.
I'm saying no comment. No comment.
It's going to depend on how scritchable their ears are.
That's
Really?
my official stance as the Dunehold guild leader. No comment.
I love it. But yes. Aside from that, oh look, there's the art piece. Aside from that, I just wanted to reiterate, if you aren't in our Discord or did not notice, Vertec and I are going on a little mini vacation this weekend. So instead of the typical live stream tomorrow morning, I'm doing mine on Sunday afternoon, and then he's doing his right after. So you'll get a double show, TGF double show.
Nice.
So. Ooh.
Yeah,
I have to, Lizzie.
So
I have to.
instead of just canceling tomorrow morning, it's just going to be moved.
Yep. Wow, this hour plus went by really quickly, actually.
It did.
It did. Very much so.
I honestly thought that we were gonna sit here and have to ask you to help us with coming up with something else to talk about, because I didn't think we'd have this much to discuss at length.
What?
But
No.
that's also because looking through everything, it was quite dead in the Reddits and the forums. I think everybody's in preparation for the next live stream.
They're all just waiting on their seats, just holding on, just waiting for the nodes.
Right? Nodes win. I'm kidding. Time flies when you talk about the best race in Ashes, Tolnar.
The best race in Ashes is going to be the race to 50.
Oh yeah, there's that.
I
Well, I
think
should
the
say it's
best
gonna be the
race is going to be the first node of the server. That's going to be Metropolis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first Metropolis.
That's the best
actually,
race.
yeah.
That'll be the
That's
best
going to
race.
be the best
Absolutely.
race. Yes, even better.
Do we have any final thoughts? Because there's somebody who's online that I think we would like to read, because we have not gotten a chance to actually read this person yet.
And
I don't think
real
I
quick,
have any.
before you go to redeem there, Wizzy, for the steer the raid, we're planning on raiding over to Vladis, unless
Yes.
there's reasons not to, which I don't think there should be. We haven't been able to raid. Vladis isn't really usually on when we're done, so
Yeah.
that's where we're going.
Yeah. But yeah. I keep my feathers. Okay.
Yes. This
Saving
time.
them up, probably.
Yes.
Sorry, though, Thoghli, I kind of interrupted you there. I just wanted to make sure Wizzy wasn't going to steer us somewhere random.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I don't really have anything to add. I'm super excited about nodes. I think we all are. I just hope that they deliver something meaty for us to chew on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I guess we will be, well, not this next week, because this next week is going to be the last one, but the first week of September, we will be seeing how we feel about it, because I always feel bad when they have it like the day before our live stream. Because I'm like, it's not as fresh. But also that gives me the entire evening to watch. So instead of like right before the live stream.
Exactly. It gives us time to actually digest some stuff and actually watch the full thing for sure, instead of like, well, I had to work, so I caught like 30 minutes of that whole hour. And then I had to fast forward through at double speed and take what notes I could.
We sped through it. Yeah, exactly. Which is usually what happens. So it's nice to be able to relax through it and like actually, wait, what did you just say? Rewind, rewatch. Instead of, nope, too bad, we'll figure it out later. But yeah.
Hey, glad we could help hook you in there, Dead Jester, because we're going to be hanging on. We do a weekly thing all the way up until launch.
Yeah.
And once the alpha comes out, which, by the way, if you're just curious to see how things go on in the alpha, there's going to be plenty of people streaming it, including us. And we're going to have at least some days designated, if not every day, where if we have people sitting in here, we'll have a redeem for feathers. So if you hang out in here and you collect up some of the plumes, then you can redeem to have us go and check out whatever it is you're curious about. We'll go test a feature or a place, or go look at something that you want to see.
Yeah,
I can't wait
absolutely.
for that.
Yeah, me either. That'll be so fun. But aside from that, we interview a different guest from within the community each week, and this happened to be Dunehold's matron, Thoghli. matriarch.
Mhm.
So, alrighty. Well, join us in raiding a really awesome friend of ours, Vladis Gaming, from within the community. Vladis is also a good source of Ashes of Creation. Oops, I got it wrong. Vladis is also a great source of information from Ashes of Creation and has a podcast that is called 1v1, or in our case, 1v2. So, yeah. Give them the best TGF love and cheers, and we're gonna send some wonderful support over to him.
Thank you everybody for hanging out and chatting with us. That's the greatest support you can possibly give us, is just hanging out and giving us your time and your comments and interaction. We love you for it every week, and we always love to see some of the antics from some of you.
Snuckers, you would.
Oh, look at that. I'm not sure if it's going to finish in time. Uh-oh. It's going to be a race. Gotta see if we can get the champion of the hill to finish before
45 seconds. Oh no.
Oh, I don't think it's going to do it.
I don't think it's going to work. But yes, you could have been raiding other people's hills, but you decided to come raid the hill of ours.
Yeah, you could have been anywhere doing anything, and you chose to be here with us. So that's special. That's awesome, and we appreciate it.
Yes. Also, welcome Sir Unzington sneaking into the last second.
For now, I'm going to take it out to the outro screen and say goodbye.
Bye, guys.